over 600,000 black women are without a job. Like, I just can't believe we're in this in 2026, and we're in this. But I do want to say to my black women is that, baby, please, sister girl, keep your head up. Because one thing that they cannot take is your mind. If they can control your mind, it's because you are allowing them to control your mind. Do not let them control your mind. Take your power back. For some of us, this could very well be time to pivot. Some of us needed a break because the companies that we were at was not the very best for us. Some of us are overworked.
Not just black women care about this.
If 7% of your body wasn't working, you wouldn't be able to function. If black women are not able to be full economic participants in our economy shrinks.
Last month, Representative Ayanna Pressley and more than 20 other members of Congress demanded that the Department of Labor take immediate action to address the rising unemployment crisis among black women.
This is an urgent problem.
Brian Wilson is co-founder and CEO of The Gathering Spot, a private networking group. He's been organizing events in LA, Atlanta, and DC to help connect black women with opportunities.
We have heard already that there are people that are moving through the hiring process that wouldn't have.
But thousands more are still looking.
We're not looking for handouts, but we're like, hey, somebody do something. Speak up for us.
It's so damn hard to get a job. I don't understand. I really do not understand this right now. Like, this is people's livelihoods. You know? It's like you think you're doing everything right. You go to college, get a degree, you know, you get your first job. That's all good. And then you're like planning for the future to get married and buy a house and travel and do all these things. And I can't even get my foot in the door right now. I'm just literally drowning. And it's like, I know God hasn't forgotten about me. But I'll be like, dang, what you doing up there, big dog? Like, speed it up a little bit. You know, like, I'm gonna cry about it. I'm gonna be good, but I'm gonna definitely cry about it first. Like, I even started a nonprofit to help other women.
But did you know that women 40 and over, and some women, black women over 65, are twice as likely to live in poverty as their white counterparts? The Joint Counter and the Joint Center for Political and Economic Studies, the Economic State of Black Women in the United States. This is an article published by the GRIO by Kay Wicker. Black women continue to be among the most educated women in the country and have some of the highest workforce participation rates. But a new report finds they are still being forced to work twice as hard to get half as far. According to the Joint Center for Political and Economic Studies, 63% of Black women participate in the labor force, and roughly 2/3 have attended college. Still, Black women working full-time earn a median of $942 a week in 2025, compared with $1,108 for white women. The disparities do not stop there. Black women are also less likely to have retirement savings and are more likely to face poverty later in life. Black women between 55 and 59 had average retirement savings of about $129,933, compared with more than $328,000 for white women. Researchers say the gap is not about a lack of ambition. It is about systems that continue to reward Black women less.
41-year-old Audrey Malone lost her corporate job in facilities management about a year ago.
I stopped counting my job applications after I hit like 150 or something like that.
You applied to over 150 for
I've
150
applied
jobs?
to more than 150 jobs. I just stopped counting at 150. And you look at it and you go, I'm not enough. What's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong?
Some economists say the proliferation of artificial intelligence and the elimination of DEI programs have negatively impacted Black women. And then there's the cuts to government jobs, where Black women are represented at twice the rate as in the private sector. All of it has contributed to the more than 300,000 Black women who lost or left their jobs in the first half of 2025.
We almost are like the economic shock absorbers of what's coming to us.
The canary in the coal mine.
That's right.
I am running myself rampant trying to find a job that I am highly qualified for. I have the experience. I am a catch. It has never been this difficult. Excuse me? The years that I spent in customer service, the years that I spent doing clerical work, administrative work, and you mean to tell me that my Black ass can't find a job?
This is not the first time I've heard this. In fact, I'm hearing it more and more as the days pass. And let me be clear, this isn't random. This is the plan. We have been targeted from the very beginning of this administration. That's not debatable. The elimination of DEI wasn't neutral. It wasn't abstract. Even though white women are the primary beneficiaries of DEI policies, the intended target was Black people, Black women in particular.
Is above 6%. And if this was happening to any other demographic in the United States of America, we would be talking about it constantly. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit. Since February of this year, unemployment rates for Black women have increased month over month by at least half to 1%, which is huge. It is estimated by the Bureau of Labor and Statistics that between February and March, when the bulk of federal layoffs happened in the first round, Black women lost 250,000 plus jobs. That's huge. I think it needs to be explicitly said that it's not an accident that the president's administration has been targeting DEI as well as the federal workforce, because Black women are overrepresented in those job categories and in that workforce.
To the high rate of unemployment for Black workers?
It is traditionally higher than for all workers.
Well, listen, it's through the roof right now. There's hundreds of thousands of Black workers that have been pushed out of the workforce, and the unemployment rates for Black workers and all workers are among the highest they've been since the COVID-19 pandemic. Black workers contribute over $1 trillion to the U.S. economy, but the push out of these workers from the workforce has led to a loss of $37 billion in the GDP, with Black women being among, just so y'all know, the most educated and most active in seeking work. Their push out is a glaring warning sign for where our economy is headed, because Black workers, Black women in particular, have always been the canaries in the coal mine. So this is a problem for everyone. Black women are bearing the brunt, but everyone will feel this hurt. I have led letters to Fed Chair Powell calling for action to be taken. He is also a member of FSOC. So I want to ask you, Mr. Secretary, will you commit to analyzing Black unemployment rates specifically and its impacts?
Women you think being affected at this level, and do you think that it seems that they're being specifically targeted?
Well, that's what, I can't speak.
In fact, Black women have never been excluded from the labor market. Actually, in fact, Black women have always been the backbone of the labor market in the United States of America. If you go back to chattel slavery, okay, here in the United States, chattel slavery, the backbone of chattel slavery was Black women. And it's not to exclude the exploitation and the degradation of Black men, but regardless if Black men were present or not, they were going to treat us like cows and get us pregnant and reproduce as much as possible. And if you go back to the historical records, Black women were worth much more, especially if they were around fertile age, were worth much more than any other person enslaved.
Keep pushing in a job market that suddenly feels like it actually shut the door. In fact, it slammed the door. I'm Andrea Moorhead Allen. I'm a former TV news anchor who literally dropped the mic and I walked away from a 35-year career because of workplace abuse. The toxicity almost unalived me. You know, since DEI initiatives were rolled back, since you know who got into office, let's just keep it real, hundreds of thousands of Black women, over 600,000 of us, have lost jobs. Many of us can't get hired. I'm one of them. I'll be honest, I'm one of them. I can't tell you, or maybe I will one of these days, the things that I have done just to make a livelihood. I have the education. I certainly have the experience. And I also have 7 Emmy Awards that once opened doors. And still, even with all that, some doors are not opening for me. They still haven't. And
unemployment rate jumps more than a percentage point for Black women in November. And I'm surprised that more people aren't talking about this. Here's what's going on. In October, the national unemployment rate was 4.1%, 4.9% for Black women. Now in November, the unemployment rate nationally went to 4.2%, but it spiked dramatically to 6% for Black women. Other demographics saw slight changes. Shocking. Don't get scared. Get prepared. So if you're currently unemployed, a full-time job seeker, job search will likely take a lot longer than the average 5 to 6 months. So I want you to be wise about how you spend your time and your financial resources. You must be budgeting, especially if you've been given any sort of severance package or you're living off of savings. I want you to be intentional about elevating your personal brand and expanding and leveraging your personal network. You must be thinking about monetizing your skills and your knowledge outside of corporate America.
And with that being said, Black women are facing high unemployment rates, reaching 6.7% in 2025. Primarily due to heavy job losses from government workforce cuts, a decline in DEI initiatives, and overrepresentation in vulnerable low-wage sectors. They are disproportionately affected by economic shifts, often acting as a canary in the coal mine of broader economic distress. Public sector reductions, a significant factor in 2025, was the reduction in the federal workforce as Black women are overrepresented in these roles. Corporate shifts, many companies are reducing diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI positions, which often disproportionately impacts Black women, which means would say to me that they don't have to have the option to hire a Black educated woman, because DEI has nothing to do with a Black educated woman. It has more to do with now I don't have to hire her to compete with her. Sector vulnerability. Black women are disproportionately employed in essential yet volatile service care and retail jobs with fewer benefits, less security, and higher risk of layoff. Systematic discrimination, persistent workplace discrimination, wage inequality, and biases against hiring Black women contribute to longer periods of unemployment. And this simply means that we are not going to go anywhere that is toxic for us, that interrupts our mental and emotional well-being. 9 times out of 10, we can't walk into a Walmart, a McDonald's, and expect for them to hire us, seeing that we are overqualified for this job and thinking that they will pay us a fair wage. I have tried this in the past when I was paying off a student loan. It's paid off. But I went to a restaurant to use that job as the basis to pay off that student loan years ago. And the place was the manager told me I was overqualified and they could not hire me. So this is definitely what these jobs are telling women that are even settling for something, maybe low qualified for even their high standards in their background education. So these places are not going to hire you because they know you're going to want a fair wage. Job market exits. A notable decline in labor force participation has been observed, particularly among college-educated Black women, as discussed by the Economic Policy Institute. These challenges are a persistent trend, often causing Black women to experience higher unemployment rates than any other groups, even when the overall economy is considered strong, as a demo blog post notes, this trend is a good place to start in analyzing the overall economic health. The 19th News also reports on how this trend is a warning sign. And so they should take this very seriously. Because if the Black woman's economic future is in decline and being threatened, then the economy as a whole is being threatened. And this is not a joke. This is for real. This is not something to take lightly. I'm gonna play this video for you. Okay, it's got a commercial, so
don't wear it, sell it.
Instead of empowering bureaucrats, we're firing them, and they're going out and getting jobs in the private sector for 2 and 3 times what they were making in government. So they started off hating me when we fired them, and now they love me.
That was President Trump in Davos, Switzerland yesterday, talking about firing federal government workers during his first year in office. Now, one group of people hit hard by those layoffs is Black women, apparently. While the country's overall unemployment rate fell to 4.4% in the most recent jobs report, it rose to 7.3% when it came to Black women. Jerika Duncan spoke with 2 women who have faced prolonged unemployment to find out what's behind this trend.
I loved my job. I loved it. And it made a difference to people.
But Adrienne Birch's job with the Department of Agriculture was eliminated last February.
I started crying. I said, oh my God, I'm losing my job. I'm not prepared. I don't have enough savings.
The chainsaw for bureaucracy.
As Elon Musk took a chainsaw to the federal government, Birch says she felt forced into early retirement at age 54. Today, she says she gets 1/3 of her previous pay.
To get to a point where you made a great salary, made 6 figures, and to have that ripped from you, and not because you didn't do the job well, is painful.
Pain that was just beginning as Birch started looking for work.
I've applied for, I think, about 35 jobs or so. Mm-hmm. I've gotten 5 rejections. Most of the other ones, nothing.
Any interviews?
No.
And she's not alone. 41-year-old Audrey Malone lost her corporate job in facilities management about a year ago.
I stopped counting my job applications after I hit like 150 or something like that.
You've applied to over 150 for
I've
150
applied
jobs?
to more than 150 jobs. I just stopped counting at 150. And you look at it and you go, I'm not enough. What's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong?
Some economists say the proliferation of artificial intelligence and the elimination of DEI programs have negatively impacted Black women. And then there's the cuts to government jobs, where Black women are represented at twice the rate as in the private sector. All of it has contributed to the more than 300,000 Black women who lost or left their jobs in the 2025.
We almost are like the economic shock absorbers of what's coming to us.
The canary in the coal mine.
That's right.
Harvard economist Anna Gifty Opoku-Agyeman.
Why should people, not just Black women, care about this?
If 7% of your body wasn't working, you wouldn't be able to function. If Black women are not able to be full economic participants in our economy shrinks.
Last month, Representative Ayanna Pressley and more than 20 other members of Congress demanded that the Department of Labor take immediate action to address the rising unemployment crisis among Black women.
This is an urgent problem.
Ryan Wilson is co-founder and CEO of The Gathering Spot, a private networking group. He's been organizing events in LA, Atlanta, and DC to help connect Black women with opportunities.
We have heard already that there are people that are moving through the hiring process that wouldn't have.
But thousands more are still looking.
We're not looking for handouts, but we're like, hey, somebody do something. Speak up for us. And until then, we have to help each other.
That was Jerika Duncan reporting. And to put this in perspective, Gail and Nate, about 69% of Black mothers are breadwinners. And Jerika told me something that stood out to her, which was that the economist she talked to, who wrote that book, says that our economic fates are linked. In other words, the broader population of the United States. What happens to Black women or any marginalized group is a sign of things to come, because this is something that we knew when I worked on Wall Street. It's an early warning system for the broader economy that when the workers that are most exposed to inequality or who are destabilized, when they are hit hard by what's happening in our economy, the ripple effects will affect everybody at some point. So Wall Street looks at that number and they pinpoint what's happening to people who are marginalized to make a prediction of what could happen to the rest of us.
I like the analogy that was made in the piece that if over 7% of your body wasn't working, you would not be able to function.
Yep, that's right.
The Black women as economic shock absorbers. That's very enlightening, that piece.
Yeah, it really was.
And that is what we're facing today. And this is even more of a serious matter. And I hope we're paying attention to this. And I hope you watch this video and listen carefully as to any Black woman that you know in your family, that you love, that is out here, you know, is working hard and was affected by this, and how it's affecting your overall circle in your family or even in your workforce area by not having that experience and that history from a Black woman of her portfolio of being somebody that is dependable, who will learn and grow with the company. And like I say, it's not just from DEI, because I felt like DEI was just something to make other places that really didn't want us hire us to look good on paper. And I hope that things change. I hope that things change in the way that we vote, because something has to happen or the world is already going in a bad place. But when you affect the motherland, which is showing that Black women are literally making this world go round, when we're affected, everyone is going to be affected. And so I hope that you guys look into this, learn more about it, protect yourselves. I pray for the women that weren't able to have success in finding a job, that they are lucky with finding a good, stable, resting work foundation, not a toxic environment. Because with that said, guys, I want to say thank you for watching. The lights is coming. What do you feel? How does this affect you? If you're Black, anyone watching this, if you're a Black man watching this and Black woman, or you know, of course you do, it's your mother, your son, and you see the effects of it. So let me know what you think below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.